Well, good morning folks, and welcome back to my channel. This is Lee, your virtual airline pilot, back with you again after a short break. I spent 8 days in Poland on a short vacation, and now it's the 1st of May and we're back to normal, and normal service to resume with review videos. And this is the first review video this week. We are in the United States. We are in New York State, and you're looking at Long Island MacArthur Airport in New York, United States of America. Kilo India Sierra Papa. This is payware scenery by FLY2HIGH. I'd like to thank them very kindly for sending me a copy for review. Version 0.1.0 for the PC version of Flight Sim 2020. I haven't been able to see yet whether or not it works for Xbox. For some reason I can't get into flightsim.to, where they normally list versions that are both compatible. The download is 1.57 gigabytes, and it installs at just over 4 gigs, 4.09 gigabytes. Currently available from Sim Market at a price of €20.16, which equates to roughly $22.17 US, or £17.67 UK. As ever, US and UK prices are estimates from the euro, and they do include VAT and tax, which of course may vary depending on which country you're in when you make your purchase. Useful thing to note, there are various price reductions ranging from €18 up to €19 for owners of previous Flight Simulator 2020 products by this developer. Go on to Sim Market and have a look at the product description, and you'll see that if you own other Flight Sim products for this, or basically if you own other products by FLY2HIGH for Flight Sim 2020, you will get a discount. The price difference of €2, €3 or €4 or so, which of course makes all the difference to you and me, and is very acceptable. Just to let you know as well, also I've done one or two upgrades of the PC. Have a look at the website and it'll tell you. I've gone to 64 gigs memory now. I've doubled the memory, which really is going to help my video editing hopefully. And I've recently got the Honeycomb Alpha flight control unit, which I'm going to have sorted out hopefully next weekend. So we'll get some adventure flights in as well, and a couple of videos for you. Anyway, back to the scenery at hand. First off the bat, let me say it's nicely modelled. It's the texturing is good, and as you can see from this large aerial shot, it fits in to the default terrain very, very nicely. No complaints at all. I particularly like the foliage. It's been well done, and another plus is that they've gone outside of the airport and made some additions to some other buildings, and they've 3D modelled the road system landside of the airport to a high degree, which makes it look a lot better, to be honest. And where there is photo ground, it's of a higher resolution than I expected, which again makes it look better. There are animated people, but they're only the airside inside the terminal's been developed, and the people animations look great, but unfortunately they seem to keep disappearing. But we'll have a look at that as we go in. So features, here's the features list for you. Features a highly accurate recreation of Long Island MacArthur Airport, highly detailed models of airport terminals, hangars, buildings and other airport facilities, accurate taxiway, apron and stand layout, interior terminal models included, and as I said, mostly it's just airside, custom animated jetways, and again you'll see that when we do the jetway test, up-to-date runway, taxiway and stand layouts, custom blue light. Not sure entirely what that means. I have had a quick look in the low light, and there are blue airfield edge lights, and there are some blue lit signs, so maybe it's referring to that. Realistic nighttime dynamic lighting and animated humans. I've also had a quick look at the dusk lighting, and it's very, very subtle and very nicely done. They've also done a bit of work on the various buildings off airport, which really helps this project and makes it look really, really nice. So those are the features. Let's, as usual, let's talk some history. So, history, Long Island MacArthur Airport, Kilo India Sierra Papa, colloquially referred to as MacArthur Airport, MacArthur, or by its original name Islip Airport, is a public use airport in Ronkonkoma in the town of Islip on Long Island in the state of New York in the United States. The airport is owned and operated by the town of Islip and serves around 2 million airline passengers a year, as well as general aviation operations. The airport covers 1,311 acres, or 531 hectares, and serves Nassau and Suffolk counties as an alternative to both John F. Kennedy Airport and LaGuardia, both of which are located in the borough of Queens in New York City. Shuttle buses connect the airport to Long Island Railroad's Ronkonkoma station. Long Island MacArthur Airport sits outside the congested New York terminal area and so has good on-time performance. In 2017, some 1.3 million passengers, of which 7% were airline and 84% were general aviation, passed through the airport. Air taxi and military made up the remainder. The airport was originally named Islip Airport, and following General Douglas MacArthur's world-famous escape from the Philippines, it was renamed in his honor. In April 1942, the town of Islip contracted with the federal government to build an airfield on town-owned land for military use. In 1944, Lockheed Aircraft Corporation built the first hangar at the airport. 5 years later, the town built the airport's first terminal building, preparing for airline flights. Through the 1950s, the Sperry Corporation conducted aerospace research at the airport. In 1960, Allegheny Airlines was the first scheduled passenger airline at Islip, flying to Boston, Philadelphia and Washington, D.C. The General Douglas MacArthur Terminal was completed in 1966. In 1967, Mohawk Airlines began 2 Fairchild-Hiller FH227 flights a day to Bridgeport and Albany and beyond, with 1 flight continuing to Toronto. Between 1960 and 1990, some 13 airlines operated services to various cities within the US. Most of those airlines ceased serving Long Island and MacArthur, but between 1999 and 2009, passenger traffic grew with the airport, which now serves about 2 million passengers a year on 3 airlines: Southwest, Frontier and Breeze Airways. However, from 2005 to 2009, almost every category of MacArthur's operations has declined. Airline, military, air taxi and general aviation to name but the few. A recent figure was released citing a 46% decrease from 2007 to 2012, the most loss in any small airport hub. 2004 saw a major expansion project which included a new Southwest Airlines terminal costing some $65 million. Phase 2 of the project added more gates, restaurants, baggage reclaim and ground transportation. However, the 2004 expansion was built without state approvals and in violation of fire and safety codes, which resulted in a well-publicized scandal. Growth and expansion continued into the early years of the 21st century, but by 2014 the airport was experiencing financial difficulties, and in September 2022, American Airlines ended service to MacArthur from Philadelphia due to pilot shortages. Also taking place in 2022 was the opening of a new ground transportation center at the airport. This state-of-the-art facility houses all of the rental car agencies present on site at the airport. MacArthur currently has 2 concourses in 1 main terminal. Concourse A has 9 gates, while Concourse B has 2 gates with jetways and multiple gates that board from the ramp. So there's a brief history for you. The airport basically has been a bit of a relief airport from the New York Tracon airports area, LaGuardia, Newark and JFK. And obviously with the longest runway going to somewhere around about 7,000 feet or so, you can get medium haul jets in here quite easily. So there's a certain importance that this airport holds, and it's had quite a history behind it. So that's a history. Let's talk runways. Lower the light and have a look at the runways. So runways, here as you can see we've lowered the light. It's about 20 to 8 in the evening. It's the 1st of May, just the start of summer so to speak. So Long Island MacArthur operates 3 runways. Runway 2406 is the longest, measuring 7,006 feet or 2,135 meters, and is made from asphalt, and we're looking down the throat of runway 06 end at the moment. Runway 33 left 15 right comes next, measuring 5,186 feet or 1,581 meters, and is also constructed from asphalt. Finally, runway 33 right 15 left measures just 3,175 feet or 968 meters, and is again also made from asphalt. The airport lies at an elevation of 99 feet or 30 meters, and is in the GMT UTC -4 hours time zone. Again, as many but not all states in the US operate daylight saving time, Long Island is no exception and is currently 5 hours behind the UK. The Long Island moves ahead 1 hour for the summertime, as does the UK and most of Europe. So runway 2406 has both an instrument landing system and an RNAV approach option at both ends of the runway, with runway 06 ILS certified to category 2. This runway also features high intensity runway lighting, centerline lighting, medium intensity approach lighting system, and precision approach path indicators on the runway left side. Additionally, the runway is grooved. Now, as you can see from here, we've got the medium intensity approach lighting, the high intensity runway lighting. Here's the centerline lighting there. They've also included touchdown zone lighting. You've got runway end identifier lights too, and you've got the precision approach mark indicators on the left side. So this runway is fully equipped with a couple more bits in the scenery that aren't on the charts, but again, no complaints. It's exactly as it should be. Let's go down and have a look at the 24 end very quickly. So here we are at the other end, runway 24, and as you can see, you've got the PAPIs on the left, you've got the high intensity runway lighting, the centerline lighting is there. They haven't included the touchdown zone lighting at this end that was seen at the other end, but again, you've got the approach lighting system just as it should be. So 24, absolutely fine, no problem with that at all. So here we are looking down the throat of runway 15 right 33 left. And this runway is the second longest runway, features medium intensity runway lighting and precision approach path indicators again on the left side. This runway also features the RNAV approach option and is also grooved. Again, no ILS at either end of this runway, but there are RNAV approach options available. And here you've got PAPIs on the left side, but you have the different style of PAPIs. Here again you can see the runway centerline, the medium intensity approach lighting, all that you need to do an RNAV approach at any time of the day or night. No instrument landing system available on this runway. Let's have a quick look at runway 33 left, the other end. And here we are looking at the down the throat of runway 33 left, the other end of that runway. And again, PAPIs on the left side of the different style of PAPIs, centerline lighting, medium intensity approach lighting, just as exactly as at the other end and pretty much as per the charts. And here you can see the terminal complex on the left side. So let's quickly look at the shortest runway here available at this airport. So this runway currently has no instrument approach or features at all on the charts. There are no charts showing that for this runway either approaching for takeoff or landing. Note that also it's limited to aircraft weighing 24,000 kilos or 48,000 pounds, and it's not available for night operations. But as you can see in the scenery, they've added medium intensity approach lighting, centerline lighting and runway end identifier lights. However, because there are no instrument procedures, I'd suspect realistically you only use this runway during daytime operations for visual approaches. The notes on the charts do say that it's used as a taxiway sometimes as well. One final important note one final important thing to note, this airport also has a low level wind shear alert system, or LLWAS, because they do occasionally get wind shear here, and that's an interesting point for you to note. So yeah, some interesting approach options available here, and quite a nice little airport, as you can see. The dust lighting looks quite good in general, but we'll have a close look at that during the review. So let's bring it back to daytime and have a look at JETWAYs. Okay, so here we are on stand Alpha 2, where we're going to do the JETWAY test. As you can see, I've moved the tug into the connection position so the JETWAY doesn't inadvertently go through the tug, and we can see how it performs. So let's connect the JETWAY. Okay, so the JETWAY is connected, and as you can see, the top half of the cover has actually penetrated the skin of the aircraft. We've got the PMDG Boeing 737-800 sitting here. That connection is perfectly normal. It happens a lot in Flight Sim 2020 where the connection goes through, but it's perfectly adequate. Let's get a close-up of the JETWAY connection and have a look. First thing I wanted to see, of course, is to see what happened to the stairs. As you can see, they've gone in down through the concrete, which is not great, but anyway, there you go, it's not really a problem. And there you can see the connection is actually not too bad at the lower half. It's connected to the aircraft correctly, but it's just that the rubber cover has gone through the skin. Let's go inside and let's open the door of the aircraft and see how that looks. Okay, so there's the view from inside the JETWAY with the door in the closed position. Now let's open the door and see whether it cuts through the outside of the JETWAY. Well, ever so slightly, but as you can see, that's perfectly acceptable. It's not perfect, it's not as good as some of the connections I've seen, but it connects to the door and it's realistic enough. Let's have a look from the outside front. And there you can see the connection's perfectly okay. Like I said, it's not perfect, and it's not as good as some of the connections I've seen in some of the sceneries, but perfectly adequate, no problems with that at all. As you can see, a perfectly acceptable looking JETWAY, nicely modelled and textured. It looks perfectly fine. Let's disconnect it now. Okay, that happens quite a lot where the hood springs back quickly and the JETWAY has a kind of a delay before it returns. Bonus is, of course, the wheels are moving, which is great. So it's not all bad. And it, like I said, perfectly acceptable, no problems with that at all. So there's the JETWAY for you. Let's go into the airport proper and have a close look at this product. Okay, so let's start a slow tour. As you can see, the foliage I think is really good. I love the way that's been done. So here we come across the terminal area. As you can see, the gates and the buildings, texturing is really quite nice. There's my aircraft sitting there. The ramp looks very, very nicely textured and modelled, and the buildings generally are really nicely done. Here we're coming up to some hangars. You've got a few bits of scenery popping there. Nothing serious. The control tower is partly modelled, but it's actually quite dark in there. There's the fire station to the left. Here you can see bits of fence line and stuff. Hangars there with some internal development. Taxiways look great. There are 2 helicopter landing pads here as well. Here we come to sort of some of the GA operating areas. There's the fuel farm down below us. As you can see, it hasn't been left to photo ground, it's been 3D modelled, and the foliage has been nicely placed to make it look really good, and that's very, very impressive. And as you can see, it fits in very, very nicely with the local terrain. It's just really well done. Here's an example of where they've got photo ground. But the good news is it's of a higher resolution than I would expect, and this doesn't look too bad. It looks quite good considerably. While we're here, let's have a look at signage on the runway, taxiways, etc. Here we are looking at the approach into runway 06. As you can see, you've got blue airfield edge lights which light up at night. Signage is really good. You've got wigwags which unfortunately don't work in the dark, but they are lit, and we'll look at that during the dusk and night hours. As we venture onto the runway, you can see the runway markings are quite good. There are the pappies on the left side and the windsock. So far I haven't seen any vehicles on the runway, which is a good sign. So here we are looking at the north side, and as you can see, all of the taxiways and the ramp work are of good quality. It's not been left to chance. Got a military helicopter there. And you can see the ground texturing of even the car parks here, and the weathering on the buildings, hangars, really good. Some marginal internal development in some of the hangars, but it all looks very nice. The modelling and the weathering on some of the buildings and bits and pieces around the airport is really quite good. There you can see some internal bits and pieces. I really like the way the foliage is done. It really looks very nice. They've obviously adapted it to make sure it doesn't overlay where it shouldn't. And to be honest, it looks lovely. The effect is nice. It fits very well. So let's get down to the airport stands itself, airside, and have a look what we've got here from a pilot's point of view. Here we are approaching the terminal. As you've seen during the JETWAY test, the JETWAYs are a good order. And here, looking through the windows, you can see the internal development I mentioned, and it's only in the airside terminal part. One thing to note, and we will see it as we go around here, the animated humans are really good, but they often just tend to disappear, literally right in front of you. Let's go inside. So here you can see some really nice internal development. Again, nice modelling, nice texturing, everything right down to the roof. And there you can see what I mean. You've got the animated humans do what they do up to a certain point, then suddenly they disappear and start again. Okay, I'm not really going to complain about that. At least you've got this animation, and to be honest, from inside the cockpit when you park up, what you'll see through the windows is exactly what you want to see as a pilot. In fact, let's just have a quick look at that. So there's a view, a daytime view, looking through the front windshield of my 737, and you can see the passengers all milling about through there. You've got that nice view through the terminal, and at night time it's quite lit up, which we'll see later. View from the captain's side there, and looking out through the first officer's window. So as you can see, the effect is really quite good when you look at the cockpit and you finally park up. So as we move through the terminal quite slowly, I mean, it's very nicely done, nice modelling. The pictures on the wall there, as you can see, are of a higher resolution, and so they work, which is what I really quite like that. The signage above and around, everything right down to the doors there, is of a higher resolution than you'd expect, which again makes it work really well. Here you can see inside the satellite part here. Signage is great, everything looks as it should do. It's very nice indeed. Very nice rendition of a bar and grill there. Would have been nice to see a couple of people, even if they were static, to bring that to life a little bit. And here's a nice touch, something I've not seen before. Here you've got actual merchandise hanging in the shop here. which looks pretty real. That's a nice touch, something I've not seen before. Very nice indeed. So as you can see, Airside internal development is done quite nicely if it's something that you're interested in, and to be honest, I like to see it. It would be nice if they could do something about the disappearing people. I mean, I understand this is something that you know, maybe they have to do this way, I don't know. But it's a bit unnerving to see them suddenly disappearing. But internal development is fine, it's good. Here you can see the signs there by check-in. You know, it's all high resolution and it works. Would have been nice to see an airline agent here at the gate. Let's pop outside. So the ramp itself, as you can see, is nicely modelled and textured. You have the appropriate clutter. Very nice indeed. Building is nicely modelled and textured as well. And you can see that they've added all sorts of various bits of clutter which is necessary to make it sort of come to life, as it were. So we just do a quick run over here. One of the things that impresses me about this airport, here Landside, it's not been left to photo ground. They 3D model the car parks. Cars are a decent quality. Again, the foliage is nicely placed right down to the lamp poles as well. And all of this makes the airport look much more real than it otherwise might be. It's interesting to note that they've done a lot of work on off-airport buildings as well, especially at the dusk hours. The lighting looks lovely. We'll see that in a minute. But here you can see the quality and the attention to detail that's been given here. Got another military helicopter down there. Some military vehicles. This is obviously part of the military side of the airfield. And again, look at the concrete texture. Very, very good quality. Nothing left to photo real. Really impressed with it. Here we come to another part of the GA ramp. Again, nice modelling. And as we head out toward the taxiway, I mean, look at the trees. Very, very nicely placed. Really impressed with it. Again, the taxiways, the signage, all of good quality. Realistically, no problems with this at all. It's very nice. So a quick look at the control tower. This is a view from outside. And this is a view looking out from within the control tower. As you can see, there's partly modelling here. They've done the radar screens, and you've got some seats. The floor is done, as is the roof. It all looks very nice, but no controllers. Would have been nice to have one or two static controllers in here. Nonetheless, that's, again, it adds to the scenery. And they've taken the time to do it. Here you can see one of the two helicopter pads that are available at this airport too. Okay, quick look at Landside, where we have some animations. Again, the beautiful trees and foliage that's been done here. Here you can see the modelling is good on the outside of the terminal. You've got the various airline signs there to the right. And you've got some animated people. Unfortunately, they do suffer from the disappearing act, as you can see. But again, I'm not really going to complain about this. They've made an attempt to do this, and it actually looks quite good. You see you've got the roadway has been 3D modelled. Would have been nice to have a couple of static cars. Maybe these are things they could look at maybe in the next version 1.2. But modelling is great, texturing is great. The plants and foliage look fantastic. Even the signs there look weathered. Very impressed with that. And here you can see you've got this vast expanse of car park. It's all been 3D modelled. It's not been left to low-res photoground scenery like you see in so many other sceneries. Car models are quite decent. All looks very, very nice indeed. And as we climb up a bit here, from this view, you can see some details have been worked on some of the off-airport buildings. This is just a small snapshot, but you look at the buildings here, they all look really nicely modelled and textured, and there's some parallaxing done in the dark hours as well, so they sort of come to life a bit. And while we're on the subject of night lighting, okay, so let's turn the lighting down to dusk and have a look at how it looks. Okay, 7:45 in the evening. As you can see, the sun is about to dip below the horizon and the lights have come on. This is quite a nice high level shot here, showing you the runway lighting. You've got green centerline lights as well, all over the place, and the blue edge lights. The lighting around the parking areas is good, it's subtle, as is the rest of the car park and the various bits landside. As you can see, the effect is quite good, very, very nice indeed. And again, a quick look from inside the cockpit towards where the terminal is when you park up. As you can see, the effect is very nice through the windows. The inside of the airside lounges that's been developed has all been lit up, and everything looks great. And they're looking out through the first officer's window. As you can see, everything down to the lights on the moving bogies here has been done, and looks really, really good. So here's my aircraft parked on stand Alpha 2. As you can see, the ramp lighting is great, really no problems at all here. Ground markings are excellent, you can see them easily, no problem at all. And there's a shot in the other direction, and again a really good view there of the green centerline lights and the subtleness of the lighting around the ramp area, very, very good. Just a quick look at just one of the hangars. The only little fault I can see here, you've got foliage which seems to be lit that's coming through the ground. Again, this can be sorted out with an update at some point. Quick look at the control tower. I can't see any internal lighting, but let's pop inside. And as you can see, no real internal lighting development, although it looks okay. There's a nice view looking out through there. Here's the fire station with the fire trucks. Very nice. And here's a view just showing you across where you can see the subtle lighting is quite good. There's one or two Asobo globes sitting all over the place, but the lighting is really quite nice. And here you can see evidence of parallaxing on these off-airport buildings, which just add to the ambience of the place. So a quick run landside to have a look at the lighting. As you can see, all very nicely subtle done. A little bit spoilt by the Asobo globes, which really aren't necessary because they've got lighting. You can see lighting stanchions there, so they're really not necessary. However, it's okay, it's nicely done. Very nice subtle lighting. And as I come higher, here you can see evidence of parallaxing on the off-airport buildings, which really makes this scenery work. And a quick tour landside over the car parks. There's minimal lighting, but realistically there's enough there to sort of give it a really nice look. Very impressive. Okay, a quick span over the runway. Taxiways, as you can see, markings are fine, no problems at all. We'll head over to this complex on the northern side of the airport. There you've got your windsock clearly marked. And again, attention to detail has not been neglected over this side. You've got some lighting for the military pilots amongst you. There's the green centerline lighting to enable you to move over to this part, some of which is military. Again, there you can see evidence of parallaxing and work on the off-airport buildings, which makes this work. Looks really, really good. And again, where there is photoground, it's of a higher resolution than you'd expect, so it looks much better. Okay, so there you are, a quick run around at dusk. Let's turn the lighting down to night and have a quick look. Okay, just after 10 PM local time, and as you can see, night is upon us and the lighting has come up quite well. Green centerline lights and the blue airfield edge lights are easily identified, so taxiing shouldn't be a problem in and out of the stand area for night time. Very, very nice. Bear in mind you cannot use the short runway during the night hours. Let's get up to the stand. And there you can see my aircraft parked on the stand there. Stand lighting is more than adequate. It's very, very nice. And again, you can see inside through the windows into the terminal with passengers walking around. Very nice effect. There's a view in the other direction. Again, you can see the passengers walking in the terminals. Jetways are nicely lit, and the texturing and the signage makes them a lot more realistic than they might otherwise be. A quick look out over the taxiways and the runway there, you can see the signage is very, very nicely lit. The blue airfield edge lights are a little bit different to the ones I see in other sceneries, but the effect is quite nice. I really like this, where they sort of glow. Again, green centerline lights all working here for you, no problem at all. The lighting on the signage is good. You're just gonna this could be a nice little airport to fly into in the dusk or night hours. And there's a little high level shot there showing you the airport at night in general. It looks very, very nice. The lighting is subtle, it's been well done all over the airport, no complaints at all. So let's bring the dawn up. So 6 o'clock in the morning local time. As you can see, most of the lights have gone out now, but you've got this wonderful red glow as the sun comes up and casts this shadow on the airport. Very, very nice time of the day to take off and land, I would suspect. And there's a view looking towards the sun to the east as the sun rises, and you've got this lovely glow here. Very, very nice. Overall, really good impression. Okay, just after 9 o'clock in the morning again, time to wrap up this review, give you my impressions. First of all, do I think it's worth €20? Yeah, just about. I think the price is quite nice. What makes it more attractive, I think, is the discounts for people who own other Flight Sim 2020 sceneries by the same developer. If you look on Sim Market, you'll see there are reductions of €3 to €4 here and there, which make the price even more attractive. It's a well-modelled airport. The animated people are nice, but they do kind of disappear in front of you. Be nice to see whether they can do something better with that. One of the really good things is the way that they've done the foliage modelled all over the airport. You know, nothing covers the runways, nothing covers the taxiways, and nothing covers the roads. The ground scenery, photo scenery where it's used, is of a slightly higher resolution, which makes it look better. Here, for example, you can see from this height it looks just so much better. There's great texturing and weathering on the buildings all over the place. Only the in-terminal interior airside is modelled with passengers and shops. Landside it's not. Control tower has minimal modelling. Would have been nice to see a controller in there and maybe a bit of lighting. But, you know, no problem, that's great. The roads and the landside areas are all fully 3D modelled, have not been left to photo scenery, which is a big plus in my opinion. So many developers just kind of ignore all these roads here and let them go. There's good signage inside and out. Lots of open GA hangars, some of them have been developed inside a little bit. The night lighting is very, very nice and subtle. And also you've got work has been done on many of the airport buildings with parallaxing to make them look much more realistic. Overall, it just gives this airport a really nice realistic look. There have been some comments by one or two people who thought possibly this might be nothing really to write home about, but actually it's a big improvement. Have to congratulate FLY2HIGH. Done a nice job with this airport. It's very, very nice, and you can see their developing skills have just got so much better. Would I like to see an update? Yeah, it would be nice to see an update. What would I like to see in that update? If they can solve the people disappearing problem, that would be good. Would be nice to see them develop the inside of the control tower a bit, especially at night, where they've modelled the terminal interior airside. Again, it would be nice to see that updated a little bit. You know, the odd airline staff member behind the desk, they've got the lovely model of that grill there, but no people or staff, so that would be nice. But everything else, I mean, really that's it. The modelling is of high quality. They could maybe develop the hangars, some of the hangars a little bit more, but there really is not much more to do with this. It's a nice scenery. I like the price, and as I said, there are discounts available for previous owners of sceneries by this developer, which is another really useful thing. So overall, it's great. I like it a lot. So there you go, folks. Long Island MacArthur Airport in New York State in the USA, Kilo India Sierra Papa. It's a payware scenery by FLY2HIGH. Currently version 0.1.0 for the PC. Downloads at 1.57 gigs. Installs at just over 4 gigs. It's available from Sim Market. Price is €20.16, which equates to $22.17 US and £17.67 UK. As ever, US and UK prices are estimates from the euro, and they do include VAT or tax, which of course could vary depending on the country you're in when you make your purchase. And as I've said, note there are various price reductions ranging from 18 to 19 euros for owners of other Flight Sim 2020 products by this developer. A very nice scenery, well recommended. Especially good for those GA pilots who like to fly in upper New York State, and nice to see that helicopters have been accommodated too with the 2 helicopter pads. So there you go, folks. This is Lee, your virtual airline pilot, wrapping up another review, the first one of May, after I've come back from vacation, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you're on the fence about this and wondering whether this was any good, it is. Take it from me, it's perfectly acceptable, and I like the price. So guys, thanks for joining me, thanks for watching the review. I'm happy to respond to all and any comments, and may I say thank you to all of those who have subscribed. I've now reached over 700 subscribers, and that's a bit of a milestone for me. Thank you very much. Your support is appreciated. I always respond to comments wherever I can. So thanks again, and I will see you in the second video coming up in a day or two's time, where we will be looking at yet another interesting airport. Yeah, there you go. So take care, guys. Have a great week. Enjoy your flights, and get yourselves back in the cockpit. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.